Hello, welcome to Animal Audit Corner. As you can see, we are in my kitchen today. And what time is it? It is 4:45. If I'm a little early or a little late, sorry. But however, today we are in my kitchen and we're gonna bake and cook. First, we're gonna bake up a granola. Oh wait, I got my entry. You got your eggs from the MJR Aftermath Foundation and the SPTV Foundation. You got your eggs, you got your roof over your head, you got your car, you got clothes on your back, and you got your monetary pay and your job. The important things of survival. Also, eventually we're going to have to eat, and this is where my kitchen comes in. All right, now we're going to start baking. Let's see if I have everything here. Yep, looks like it. All right, we're going to bake a granola. Oh, need my measuring cup. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay, first you put 5 cups of granola. This is only half of it, but guess what? I came prepared. I got another container of oatmeal. Of course, you're going to need the oats. 5 cup oats. So far, I put only 2. Okay. This is 3. Okay, I'll take care of that in a moment. All right, let me get the other oats. Okay. All right, now, looks like we're gonna need 2 more cups, makes it 5. All right, here's another 2 cups. All right. That's 5 cups of oats. Now, each and every time I add something, I'm going to put it away because I need more room to move these stuff around. Okay. And let me get my spatula. All right. Then, where's my teaspoon? Here it is, my teaspoon. Of course, I'm going to have to rinse it out. All right. Because after this, we're going to cook up an Armenian vegan burger after this. So you got your 5 cups. Now you have to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Okay. There's one. There's two. There. Now, each and every time you add something in, you stir it around. Now, guess what, people? Today, I went through the SPTV list and found out that some people did not put any effort into their project, meaning there was no subject of Scientology. Now, the first one in Phoenix with Dogs Against Scientology, or whatever it is they call it, only had dogs in it. I love dogs. Those animals are great. But they weren't anywhere near Scientology, and they didn't talk about Scientology. And in this video, Scientology was only mentioned once. The next one, the Library Phoenix, I'm not going to name any names though. Other than the interview with Natalie, the woman only had the subjects of travel, had no content on Scientology whatsoever. It just frustrated me. I got so mad. I just had to let it out. Yeah. Those two videos did not have any efforts to talk about Scientology other than Library's interview with Natalie. Otherwise, it had no subjects of Scientology. The only subject she brought up was travel. Had nothing to do with Scientology. And then in Ventura, more fun than just sitting around the house, had no subjects of Scientology. I was frustrated. All right, now we're going to put in, all right, a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. All right, there we go. And then we're going to stir it up. And then, let's see. I think it's Play Official in Clearwater. Did not put in any effort to talk about Scientology whatsoever. And Vita didn't bring up once in the subject of Scientology or other cults. And then YB, not going to mention any names, only had his image in there. No subject about Scientology at all whatsoever. Didn't put any effort into that. And Sky W, same thing, did not put any effort in talking about Scientology or any other cults. All right. And then did bring up the Scientology content once, though. And that was last year. Did she make any effort to make any other Scientology or other cultic cult video? No. And Lone Star Audit did not make any effort to actually make a Scientology video or any subject of any cults. Did not put in any effort. And then Scientology, I forgot to, they did make the effort to make one, but then didn't make any other video. So the ones that I marked with stars, they did have subjects of Scientology, but didn't make any efforts in making any more. Those were last year's. These people made no effort to either put out more content about Scientology, or they did not bring up the issue of Scientology at all. One had a subject of just dogs. Didn't talk about Scientology, and they weren't anywhere near the building. And they only mentioned it once. And then the other one, library, I'm not going to mention anyone's name, in Phoenix, only did one content with Natalie about Scientology. That was once and twice. Other than that, it was a decorative amusement park and had nothing to do with Scientology. And the Ventura, more fun than just sitting around the house, had no subject of Scientology, and yet they were on the SPTV space. Now, there were people that put in the effort, such as me and Club Brain Frog, but didn't even bother to put it on the SPTV space. Now, earlier, if I went a little bit louder, I got a little excited, but man, I was worse than this earlier. And let me tell you, I'm going to put on this oven, and it's on 350. Got it. Yeah. They did not make any kind of effort. But I love the other ones. They were great. But these people don't deserve to be on there because they only put one effort, and then that was it. It was last year. I don't want to mention any names, but they did not put in any effort. So those people shouldn't even be on that space or in that directory. So we got 5 cups of oats, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, and 2.5 teaspoons of vanilla. So we stirred it around. This is what it looks like. All right, now we're going to put in there we go. All right, we're going to put this away. Yeah. I was just so frustrated when I went through those channels. And there's one other, Club Brain Frog put in so much effort into making the video. She even physically went out to the San Francisco org and protested with her cell phone camera in hand. And yet she wasn't even on the directory. Okay, so now we're going to mix it up. Yeah. Those people were on it, but they didn't even mention Scientology, or only did it once, but didn't make any other effort. Now, that is a little unfair. Those contexts should be taken out, unless it's the one with the stars that actually did talk about Scientology. Otherwise, it should go. It's frustrating when people put in so much time and effort into their video and they're not on the space. It's so frustrating. All right, so we added 2 cups almonds and, then I put in my walnuts, and then just 1 cup of almonds. Oops. Yeah, I'm a messy cook, and I only cook twice a week, and that's usually on the weekend. So, because I just don't want to make a mess, I'm a messy cook. So I just decided to just put off cooking until the weekend. So then, okay. So that's it with this. Gonna put this away. Okay. We're gonna stir it around. Now, if you don't have the exact amount, it's okay. And if you want to put raisins in it, put about 1 cup of it in there. All right. But other than that, sometimes I do put raisins in there, but often enough, no, I don't. All right. Just stir it around. Yeah. It is awful that those people got to be on that space when they put in no effort into it. So earlier, oh my God, I got so mad that I just literally blew off my roof. That's how angry I was. And top it off, Club Brain Frog went out to the test center when her ankle was bruised up, and she still wasn't on there. She put in so much time and effort into her video, but didn't get on there. Okay, fine, granted. Dogs, they were cute. But there was no effort of mentioning Scientology. They weren't physically there. They only brought up the subject once, and then that was it. They weren't anywhere near the orgs. So those people did not make any effort. It just frustrates me that there are other people out there that put in the effort. And that includes me, because I know it for sure. I was writing 5 days a week, and then I was here in the kitchen cooking and giving a cooking demonstration to all the former Scientologists and all the members of other cults to learn how to cook, because some of them don't eat at all. And I know Scientology is one of them. They either feed them or don't feed them. And if they do feed them, it's normally a bowl of rice and beans. Now, I don't mind rice and beans. I eat it all the time. I'm a vegan. Well, the last time I had it was, I think, a little over a month ago. Anyhow, 7 days a week, I'm on here talking about the content, talking about Scientology, Monday, 7 days a week, and I'm in this cooking while I even talk about it while I'm cooking. Nothing. And there are also other people out there that put in time and effort into the video, and yet they're not on there. And one of them is Club Brain Frog. She even hurt her ankle too, as you all recall. It is just horrible that they don't get recognized. You know what? I'm going to keep fighting for you people out there too, because those people shouldn't be on there because they didn't put too much effort into their video. Or if they did, they only brought up the subject once and then that was it. They only put out one video. That was it. They did talk about Scientology. I'll give them credit for that. But that was last year. So if you're not going to put any kind of effort into talking about Scientology, don't do any content about them. Or don't do any content for the SPTV space. Because you did not mention the word of Scientology or any other cult once. So now, is a buffered squirrel that does the content or in a committee that does it? Possibly. But why she did that or he or she did that, I don't know. She's not putting any effort into picking and choosing. And if she was on the board of somebody selecting the videos to be on, they're not putting any effort to find out who's actually talking about it, or only mentioned it once and that was it. That was last year. No mentions. Is it unfair? Yes, because there were other people out there that put more effort into it. Okay, now what else is there to talk about? Okay. All right. Now, next, we're going to put in 2 cups of maple syrup. Come on, be more. All right, there we go. I don't think there's going to be another cup in there. So then we're going to pour it in. Now, if there isn't another cup in there, it's all right. So just hang in there. It's fine. All righty. I'm going to stir this around. All right. All right, and let's see. Now, is Club Brain Frogs, speaking of which, is Club Brain Frog out there in the community and protesting Scientology. You know what? I don't know. We're going to check it. And she's a great personality. She doesn't pretend to be something she's not. And she's just authentic. She's being her authentic self. And is she out there during her sprained ankle? Black and blue ankle? You know what? I don't know. Is she saying that? I didn't check the last time. Okay. And then we're going to put in another cup of maple syrup. That's 2 cups. If there's not enough in there and it ends up as being another half, it's okay. Just stick it in there anyway. It's going to look like it's only going to be a half. It's 2/3. I mean, if it doesn't hit 2 cups, then it's okay. It'll be fine. Not everything's perfect. All right. And you're entitled to make mistakes. Now, this is the real stuff. Make sure it's maple syrup and not the pancake syrup. Okay? Okay. All right. All right. Now we're going to dump the 2/3 in. It's not, it's not the 2 cups. So, it's okay. Just dump it in. So, nothing's perfect. If there's an ingredient missing, don't worry about it. Because it looks like it does fine. So then, do I actually wrote down the recipe for this? No. I just went on a whim and I feel like it's fine. Because, let me tell you, it does look good. All right. And what else is there? Okay. Now, on Monday, I'm going to tell you about, of course, it's an animal rights video. If you want to watch it, you're more than welcome to, but I want to have that animal rights reputation, not just the human rights reputation, but I also have to have that on David Miscavige and his cruel plates. And it's about him eating lobster. Of course, some of you are going to think, you know what, it's no big deal. But it's what's behind that meal when they catch it. And then once they catch it and bring it to him, he would have his indigent servants serve it to him. That's what I'll be talking about on Monday. Tomorrow, what am I cooking? You know what? Oh, boy. Tomorrow, I'm going to be baking last week's scorn with putting it together. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be putting it in the oven. And then I am going to bake it. All right. But otherwise, what am I going to cook? Let me see. All righty. I don't have any more milk syrup, so I can't make chocolate French toast like I planned on making. All right. Keep on mixing this until it's completed. Okay. But yeah, some of you think it's not going to be a big deal, but to the rest of us as animal rights activists, it means a lot. So then, okay. And am I going to get out there and protest? Somewhere in the future, I don't know when I'm going to go out there, because guess what? I am not going out there alone to protest. I am going to have somebody with me, or a huge group of people, because you know what Scientology is infamous for. And yesterday I did get in touch with Club Brain Frog. She did decline. Now, I don't know for, I think it might be her ankle. I forgot the reason, but it sounded like a legitimate reason. And puts out good content out there, and she's not even on the space. She put in so much effort into it. I don't know what the person was thinking. All right. I know I'm hanging on to it, but I feel something for her. I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah. You thinking, yeah, she's saying that because she's not on it. Okay, yes, I'm not. But also there are other people who ain't on there and should be on there. She's one of them. And there are people on there that are on there but didn't put in their effort. Or they talked about the subject of Scientology, but that was only once, and it was last year. They didn't bother to put any more content out there. Does it frustrate me? I know I keep harping on it, but I am that upset. But you know something? Earlier I was worse, because I got so mad that I yelled and screamed, and yeah, I just let it out. All right. It does look like it's done. I'm probably going to need another pan. All right. Let me go over the recipe. 5 cups oats, 2 cups almond. In each and every time you add in an ingredient, stir, because it'll be much easier to put stuff in it. And what else? And then 1 cup of walnuts. Okay, and then stir it around, and then 2 teaspoons cinnamon. Stir it around, and then 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And let me think. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons vanilla. And that did it. And turn on the oven on 350. Then cook until it's golden brown. Now, of course, I love mine completely well done, like a brown color. But usually it would take about anywhere between about 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, but keep on checking it. But me, I love mine completely brown, so I let it cook for the whole 30 minutes. But make sure you don't let it burn. Okay, now I might have to use another pan, which usually I do. Now, with the maple syrup, it is very expensive. Get store brand. They're a little bit more cheaper. Otherwise, it's going to run you anywhere between 20 and $35, somewhere in that margin. So it is wicked expensive. So buy store brand. When it has to do with anything, buy store brand, because nowadays that's all people can afford. Store brand. Yeah. It's the companies, because some of them are into price gouging, and that's why it's so high. Am I going to mention any names? No. First of all, it's not worth mentioning the names, and the companies, I'm not going to mention because they know. Okay, so then, alrighty. Now we're going to grab out the olive oil. Now I put it in there so nothing will stick. So usually it's a tablespoon. And then we're going to use a paper towel, wipe it. Okay. Okay. Is it going to all fit there? Probably not. All righty. All right. Now we went for almost 40 minutes on air. Now everybody, bring this to the SPTV attention. Go to SPTV space or write to Buffer Squirrel. I don't know if she has a committee to put it together. I don't know if Aaron is putting it. I don't know. I don't know who's actually in charge of that. But they should have put in a little bit more effort into putting whoever deserves to be in there. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take the paper towel, wipe it around. Now this prevents the okay. Okay, now we wiped it in. All right, now we're going to check to see if there's enough left over for this pan. All right, let's see. No, it doesn't look like it. So we're gonna oil it up again. There's not enough in there. All right, now we're gonna start pouring it into the pan. Now your oven is definitely heated, so let's put it in. Yeah. Yeah. I put in an announcement on Facebook to see who could get out there and protest with me on the animal rights issue. I will bring up the human rights issue, but it'll be mostly on animal rights, even though I am still. So now, do you think, I'm going to ask you a question, everybody that's watching or is going to watch, whatever. What do you think of the people who are on there who did not put in any effort into talking about Scientology or any other cult, or did the content of doing the Scientology, but was long overdue? It was last year, about them not putting any effort into actually either making more about it or mentioning it and not putting any effort into it. Put it at the comments below. All right. Now, am I being rough on them? I think I am a little bit because if you don't put any effort into something, you can't expect to actually get any kind of credit whatsoever. All right, we're gonna. Oh my God, I had to put the oven on, but you know what? I wanted to do it anyway. So we're gonna put in another tablespoon in here because it looked like there isn't enough oil on the paper towel. So I'm gonna put in another tablespoon of olive oil to make sure that the granola doesn't stick and I don't have a hard time taking it out. Because if you don't grease anything at the bottom or use pans or any kind of cooking spray, it's gonna stick and it's never gonna come out. Okay, so we're gonna put in 1 tablespoon. Oh, I need to take off the cap. Okay, now put it in. All right, there we go. All right. Now I'm going to put the rest in there. Okay. All righty. Oh, sorry about the dead air. What other subject is there? Was there a protest in Clearwater, Florida? I don't know. It didn't appear to be any protest. It looked that way to me. But if there was, sorry about that. And Aaron going on trial, I certainly doubt that. The DA probably dismissed it. So we haven't heard anything out of that case. So my guess is they think it's not worth prosecuting. So that's my guess. Go on Cheryl and Aaron's video and ask. Now that's what I'm guessing, and it looks that way. It just does. I'm not saying it did. It does. Okay. All righty. know this is going to turn out fine. Even though I'm doing it on a whim, I think it's going to be good. Now, the reason why I do it is because of copyright reasons, that I'm actually either redo it or do it on a whim because of the issues of the copyrights. Now, I don't want to get sued. That's why I do it. I'm going to toss this. Yeah, I looked at it today. Okay. Now, me, I do a content 7 days a week. Plus, I'm in the kitchen cooking for everybody that got out of Scientology or other cults and put in so much time and effort. And people who were in a cult, they could cook too. So, and I actually am trying to make another project. I'm trying to check with Aaron first about it. Now, there we go. Now, because I got in on the phone with the nonprofit and they said that I actually had to be in a nonprofit organization. So I sent an email to Aaron. Hopefully he'll get back to me. So far I sent the 2 other emails, but I didn't hear from him. But let's see. If not, I'll go to Pharaoh Cheryl, email her, and have her talk to him. All right. But I'm hoping that Aaron gets back to me. If not by the end of by Monday, then I'll email him again. All right. Now, there we go. It's in there. We're going to pop it in the oven. All right. Yeah. I have about 4 pieces of dishes. There are 2 of them that are huge. I'm a messy cook. That's the way I cook. So I just decided to actually have a salad during the week. And then the 2 days in the weekend, I decided to cook because I make a huge mess. And when I decided to only cook on the weekends, I decided to actually bring it to you guys that were out of the cult or out of Scientology, or just observe and do other people cooking too, or the advocates or whatever. So I'm not going to leave you guys out. So, all right. Now these are ready to go into the oven. I should have had a summer cooking series, but guess what? I didn't make a menu. Okay. Put them in. Now, usually they could bake between about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15. But if you want them well done, yeah, you can go a little past. Me, I love mine well done. And I usually eat mine very brown. I like mine very well done. So if you just want it golden, okay, you can take it out in 10 minutes. But me, I love mine when it's actually, oh wow. Okay. Now, we are going to put together the lentil both or vegan vegan red lentil burgers. So, all right, now I'm going to take out a container to put it in. Hold on. Here we go. Now, this is the container. This is the container I'm going to put it in. All right. Yeah, I'm going to put this aside right here. All righty. Now, I am going to give you the recipe. These are red lentils. And this is burgle. Now, we're going to put 2.5 cups of red lentil. And then 3 cups of burgle. And make sure it's the crush up kind. Then we're going to put 5 to 8 cups of water. All right, in a cooking pot. Now, it's going to have to look actually halfway full. If it's not, add 1 more cup in. All right. So we made that. And then we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cumin. And then cook it. Stir it around. But when it cooks, it will soak up all the water. That's how you make it. And then let it cool because you're gonna have to work with it, and you can't work with it when it's actually very hot. You would be glutton for punishment if you did. Okay, so it really has to be cooked. Put these away. All right. Now, I'm going to take, oh boy. Yeah, well, okay, take these. These are not dirty, so I'll put these back. All righty. And I'm going to grab out my container. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to grab out the pot of the vegan boast or red lentil burger. Let me get it. All right. All right. It's a little warm. I did it ahead of time because it has to cook and it has to be cool for you to handle. But it's going to have to be cool enough for me to handle. And then to make a garnish, I don't have the garnish right now, but to make a garnish, to make it fancy for your dinner party, put fresh ground parsley or a cup of cilantro. If you want to add cilantro in, that's fine. And put in a regular size onion. Usually nowadays I end up using shallots. So then, okay. All right. Now, oh boy. Now. All right. Now you take each each of the vegan burger work with it. And then as you go along, it's going to look like this. It might crumble a little bit, but it has to be formed. Oh, and when you cook it, make sure the red lentils are soft, very soft, because they're going to have to clump together with the vegan recipe. All right, it is crumbly a little bit, but yeah. Okay, take another one. Oh, I didn't say, okay. Yeah, did I? Yeah. All right, after you, yeah, I did. Okay. All right, now, work it into, you have to make it like this, okay, into an oval-sized shape. So take it. It's a little crumbly, but we just finished cooking it. And put it in next to each other. Okay. Now, I did rewrite the recipe. All right, this is what it looks like. Put it in next to each other. Didn't come out right. I apologize, but as you know, I do it on a whim, and I rewrite it so I don't get sued. All right, that's the reason. But yeah, I know I keep harping on it, but what can you do? All right, now it's still a little warm. Now, as you know, I did mention that when you cook it, you have to let the water soak up and until there's no water left. Okay. Put this in there. And usually during a party, they would work it up, put it on a plate, and garnish it with parsley and onions. Use the entire fresh parsley from the supermarket. Excuse me. And then dump it on top, and that's your garnish. It's a little warm and it's easy to handle, so it's going to be okay. This is what it's going to look like. All right. And then you put it back in the refrigerator and just let it cool. And then it's edible by tomorrow because it has to be cold. So put it in the container like that one. Okay, let's see. What else is there? Okay. If you want me to go on to the topic of Jehovah's Witnesses, now, usually you have the tendency of running into more Jehovah's Witnesses than anyone that's in Scientology, because guess what? Their numbers are dwindling. Do I feel sorry for them? No. They're into human trafficking and child abuse and elderly abuse. And then they launder money by squeezing money out of their members. So, yeah, you're most likely you'll be most likely to run into a Jehovah's Witness more than a Scientologist. Okay. And yeah, there are a couple of quiet ones. And oh my gosh, there's one I ran into yeah, we have to not, when you sing a speech, you can't go yeah, when you're in a speech class like me and you get class and educate, you have to take out all the sound effects. So that's what I'm trying to do. All right. All right. All right. And then when you say a speech, just find your mark, look at your mark, do your presentation, and then you'll go out fine. That's also what I learned in speech class when I was taking college courses. So, and yeah, I knew more Jehovah's Witnesses. I only ran into 2 Scientologists my entire life. And not Scientology, Jehovah's Witnesses, are they a pain in the neck? I think they are. Now, is it necessary to go up to everybody's house and ring the doorbell and say, oh, did you hear the word of the Lord and Jesus Christ? Yes, we did. We see them differently than you. And they were programmed to actually do that. That's the only explanation I can give you. Okay. And that organization has been created by Charles Taz, I think it's Smith. And all right, and yeah, this one woman, she goes around my job talking about it, but where I worked before, she wouldn't be quiet once about it. She knew she wasn't allowed to do that. And welcome, Green Glass, or whoever's my moderator. And yeah, earlier I mentioned that there were people, of course, people that were on the SPTV network or SPTV space and didn't put much effort into them. I know I'm harping on it. And there were people that did the subject but only did it once, and that was last year. Yeah, and didn't put into any effort in that. I'll credit them for doing Scientology subject, but the other ones, they put in no effort to talk about cults or Scientology. So I mentioned earlier, go to the link down, go to the comments down below and tell me what you think of it. All right, that's what I mentioned earlier before. All right, now, yeah, I'm making them a little bit more bigger now because I want to get out of it. Well, it's been about an hour now into it. Now, with my red lentil burgers, or in the Armenian version, both, but with you guys, it's red lentil burgers. So I put 2.5 cups of lentil, let it cook up until it's soft, but also wash it first. Then I put 3 cups of burgle. Then I put a teaspoon and a half of cumin. Then boil it up, let it sit and cool off for 1 hour, and then you can work it up. And then garnish it on top with parsley and onions, mix it up And there it is. You put it directly on top of the burger. Now, if you're worried that your kids are not getting enough vegetables, give them this. All right, there we go. Put it in there. Okay, geez, let me see here. Alrighty. What else is there? Yeah. Okay. I know I harped on it so much today that I had some unusual day. I yelled and screamed earlier because of this. The way they worked on contents about Scientology and didn't end up talking about it. And if they did, they only talked about it once, and that was last year, and never went back to it. And there's only one part one. And then they didn't do any other content. All right. All righty. Yeah. Sorry I'm harping on so much, but I also felt sorry for Club Brain Frog. She put in so much effort into her video by going out there protesting, and then she gets hurt as the sign fell on her ankle. But then at the end, she's not even on that directory to make it worse. I know, I'm sorry, I'm harping on it, but I can't help it. All right, let's see, what other topics are there? Yeah. Not Scientology, but Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, they're a pain in the neck. They go up to every door, everybody, and up to everybody's door and says, have you heard the word of Jesus and God? I don't mind them. Am I religious? No. I'm not as religious. I don't do much worshiping, but yeah, when I worship God, Jesus in this earth. Okay. Here we go. Now, as you know, I don't know which church, but in Ohio, they decided, I don't know which church, I'm not going to accuse anybody of doing it. They decided not to let gay people come in and then worship with everybody else. And they're supposed to preach acceptance. You're not doing that if you're not letting them into your church. And of course, by the time you know it, nobody's going to come into your church. The attendants are already down. Their numbers are going down too. Is it going rapidly down like Scientology? I don't think so. Okay, here it is. All right. Okay, here it is. Put it in. Okay, I've been on this site for about 1 hour and 13 minutes. Of course, I'm usually on it long on the week. Here we go. All right, and what else is there to talk about? Okay. All right. Here's another one. Now, during the week, I don't really cook. Now, I'm a messy cook, and I hate to see my kitchen turn into a disaster, so I only do it twice a week, and that's only on the weekends. Let's see. Sorry about the dead air. And let's see. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Now, I haven't seen Pearl Snappy in a while. Either I'm not seeing her content. I did put a like to her, and I did press subscribe, and then there was the hack, so I probably have to find some way of getting her back. And I checked with Club Brain Frog to see if I can have her as a guest on my show, but she doesn't want to come on, and it's for a particular reason. I guess it's because of her ankle. I don't know, or she made, and she's, okay. All righty. All right, there we go. And let's see. Okay, what else is there? Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me check on my granola. I got granola bacon in the microwave, in the oven. Let me see how much of it is done. So I have to take this. Let me see here. All right. Let me check on my granola. All right. Now, if you want it to look like this, stir it up, and then you can have it. But I want mine's more brown, so I'm gonna let it keep on cooking. So let's see. Okay, back to my red lentil burgers. All right, and let's see what else is there to talk about. Ooh, I don't want any dead air, so let me think. Oh, if you want to put garlic in your red lentil burger, you can put in about a couple of teaspoons. And I always cook with garlic, but for some reason I didn't do it this time. Or in the granola, if you want to put about, let's see, 1 cup of whole flax seeds, you can. All right, let's see. What else is there to talk about to avoid all this dead air? Okay, think. All righty. Now, what else is there? Let me think. Now, okay. Brought up Aaron and him being tried for whatever incident that was a couple of weeks ago with the Scientologist saying he was being assaulted by Aaron, which is not the case. He was complaining about the chalk hitting his face and he couldn't breathe. And according to Cheryl, he still had his mask on, so I doubt that was even true, that he couldn't breathe. Okay. All right. And so my guess is they're not going to even bother with it. That's my guess. It looks that way. Okay. What else is there? All right. Marilyn Hornan. Okay. I guess she's doing well. I should go back on her channel and find out what she's up to. I'm going to go back to Pearl Snappy and see what she's up to. And I know it's old news, but I'm going to see what's up with, oh no, I forgot her name. Okay. Well, okay, I'll find out later. Okay, and Audit LA. You know what? I haven't been on Zoom to actually speak since I got hacked because Mona hasn't been going in, I don't think has been going to any of the Zoom meetings, so I had a hard time going on. And of course, since I have ADHD, I have a hard time getting it. Plus, I can't afford to spend money like everybody else can. And let's see. And you all know that Aaron's been on Melissa and Sam's channel and talked about Scientology and the Mormon Church that they were a part of, and they actually talked about Scientology more than they talked about the cult they were in, which was Mormonism. Yeah, I had no idea that. At first, I had no idea that it was a cult. Then along came the internet. Okay. And now, okay. All right, let's see. What else is there to talk about? Okay. Aaron's been on, and I did a show about that. I got 33 views on that, so that's the most watched. And I fell down from 204 and went down to 196. Yeah, I gotta get on that directory and see if I can get the ones who didn't put any effort into talking about Scientology off. But do I have the authority to do that? Probably not, but I'm going to get vocal about it. Okay. And I definitely think Club Brain Frog should be on there, who put so much time and effort into her video. Okay. Alrighty. All right. Okay. All right. And let me think here. Put myself in the think tank. And what else is there? All right. And there was Ozzy Osbourne's death 2 weeks ago. Of course, that's not what this show's about. And of course, you know, Lonnie Anderson passed away, even though it's not this subject that we're talking about. And yeah, I'm going to try and get back to the Zoom meetings. And oh geez. Okay, there. All right. And All right, let me get some off and put. Okay. All right. Well, that should do it. Of course, I can scrape the rest of these. Now, put this in the refrigerator. Let it sit overnight. This is meant to be eaten cold. So here it is. The red lentil burger on, oh man, you can smell the cumin. All righty. What does it taste like? I'm not going to try it right now. I can taste off my fingers. I can taste the spice. It's good. All right. Okay. All righty. So there we are. We are going to see how our granola turned out. All right. I want it to sit in there a little bit more. It's a little light, but if you want it that way and you think it should be that way, by all means, take it out. How long has it been sitting? Let me see. Yeah, it's been sitting for about maybe 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to let it sit there a little while longer. All right, that should do it with that. Okay, tomorrow we are having brunch tomorrow. Am I going to make chocolate French toast tomorrow? No, because I don't have any maple syrup. Okay. Yeah, I'll be back for brunch tomorrow. So, hit the like, press subscribe, and I'm definitely going to see you guys tomorrow.